Yeah. Okay, everybody. I'll speak to you soon. So today's talk will be entitled The Third Ear. So you have released the valve. You have unfrozen your ground. You have let go of the old battles and dropped away the stones that you carry. And you have settled in the garden as you look towards your future. And you have the opportunity of a future in many ways that it could be created. And this future may be a little difficult to take to begin with. But soon you are confronted by another. Another that is a reflection to the trauma of yourself. The trauma that they carry triggers within you the pains that you thought you carried once and have got rid of. The trauma of another you are confronted and have to face. But you do not face this with the clever mind. If you've done the truth of the work over the previous weeks, we move away from the clever mind to somewhere else to manage the trauma of other people. The mind has been clever, and it has been a defensive mechanism for you. It is quick to find a position. It's in need of its own cleverness. It must find a location that it is prepared to send a defensive strike to the other person. It finds a place where it can respond to the world. And this response is where the mind gains control. The ego becomes clever, becomes present, and before you know it, the trauma of one has been transferred to the other. But when you was a child, you became very attuned to the nature of the emotions of your adults. You heard the slight change in their voice, the hard footsteps along the hall, or perhaps their periods of silence as a punishment to you, lasting minutes or perhaps days. And you built a radar to see when this attack was coming to you, and you prepared your defensive mechanisms with the clever mind. The mind was prepared for all that it must face. It was prepared for the injuries that were to be inflicted upon it, the insults, the poor comments, or the retribution the adult may want or insist on getting from you. So you learned to see it coming before it came. But as soon as you got a sniff of this trauma coming from the external, your nervous system became uncomfortable, as it was triggered and you were ready for fight or flight. You were ready for the response that must come, and sometimes it actually came. But many times you were ready before the truth of its arrival had occurred. So the clever mind is in preparedness, and therefore the analogy of the radar is true. And the preparedness meant all situations needed to be resolved, judged, criticized, or perhaps fixed. And you looked at the other then as being something to resolve or fix. And this is true for you now. Think of times when a person comes to you in pain. Perhaps they are in grief, they are in anger, they are in confusion. And when they first arrive to you, do you not feel the pull within your chest? The rise of the ego into the throat with a clever word to come. The mind begins to whirl and predict its position or the outcome of what is to happen. The radar is still very much alive within you. And you see the other person as an intersection along the road of your life. No more than an incumbent, a difficulty, a problem to solve, a hurdle to get beyond. And you see the other as being an interference to the path that you wish to take. They are in the way of your journey. Yet with all this busyness of mind, all this needs of this clever mind that must plan and prepare, you do not see the other as a sacred landscape to behold, of a beautiful scene that is covered in the frost, hindered by the wind and swept by the rain. Rather, you see their trauma and not their truth. And that pain that they inflict must be real, because your nervous system is reacting to them. The one in pain that comes to you is uncomfortable to you. The trauma of your friend, your relative, or your partner, you respond in ways which are defensive to your sense of self, because you have taught yourself in the past to avoid these injuries, avoid the arrows which get sent in your direction, or the mud which pulls you deep into it. So you avoid the trauma of others. You avoid their pain and at best bypass it, sending words of advice as you travel on by. You do not see the other, but you see their wound. And you know the wound must be more true than the other, because you feel it. But are you feeling the truth, or are you feeling your memory? Are you meeting the person in their purity, or are you wallowing in their mud, trying to scramble to the bank? So our work today is to show you the truth of what actually happened. How you can be the sovereign self and be able to stand in the room, in the rain, and not get wet. How you can be true to you and true to the other, and face all the pain that must be faced. If you are lucky, you have had someone do this for you. A person who can honour their sovereignty and hear the torture of the little child that is within you. A person that can be in peace as the storm blows around. A person that is willing to be with you no matter the difficulty your life throws towards you. But this person has only found the way of their truth. And they will shine their truth to you as a memory of where you lie as well. A memory that you know in the depth of your being to be where you truly sit. So our work today is being in the right presence, no matter what the storms send in your direction. And we will cover that in the second half of our talk. How to face the trauma of another and to anchor oneself in the third ear and be at peace within the storm that rages around. But let us take a break now. May I have the healing list of names, please?
Yes. We've Callie, Trisha, Ben, Jasmine, Harriet, Tim, Lorna, Jane, Daniel, Chantel, Karen and John, Karen, Debbie, Janet, Jean and Robert Dermott, Stuart, Hannah, Michael, Laura, Christine, David, Lindsay, Robert, Kath, Rachel, Matthew, David, Philip, Amanda, Jolie, Ivan, Suzette and Terry, Alex, Karen, Ross, Abby, Aiden, Lily, Sonia, Neil, Anik, Juno, Paula and family, Eric, Megan, Cecil, Laura and family, Diana, Audrey, Irv, Jacob and Deborah, Nicole, Kai, Sharon, Bill, Noah and Jody, Eric, Stephen and Matthew, Biggerstaff and Bender families, Joy, Don, Jules, Mirabai, Jean, Jesse, Jer, Jim, Anne, Ricky, Jet, John, Linda, Christine, Devin, Jamie, Kitty, Nikayla, Lauren, Julio, Carrie Ann, Jeanette, Claudio, Eduardo, Robert, Bella and Linda, Susanna, Mimi, Lisa, Sylvia, Carol, Chris, Sunny, Anton, B, Amrita, Carrie, Kieran, Joyce, Jim, Barb M, Amanda L, Menachem, Micah, Owen, Kimberly, David, Marshall, Hillary and Simone, the Lowe family, all the Spain family, Lou, Pat, Sue, Simon, Angelica, Flo, and all students facing exams, David, Marilyn, Denise, Irene, David, Sue and family, Phyllis, Avril and Maya, Jonah, Jetta, Julia, Ashley, Yvonne, and may all be happy. Thank you.
The sovereign self is true. The self that you know deep within you is unhindered by the winds of the world. But if you let the world come inside you, then you are not being true to the sovereign part of you, which is your very essence. The sovereign self, being unaffected, asks nothing of another, and yet honours the truth in all beings. So when the trauma comes from another person toward you, then knowing of the sovereign self is of immense benefit. And as one comes towards you full of that pain, you must know of the process that you must follow. And we will practice these with the exercises. But when one is in the truth of their sovereign self, it is like that they are the mountain lake that is calm and is still. And it reflects the mountain purely, but it does not say to the mountain, change your sharp edges, reduce your height, remove the snow. But rather it is the truth of presence, a presence where the other can come to feel safe in their own storms of life, whether they can feel safe within your presence, where their words dissolve and their weapons can never land. A place that reminds them that within them there is the beauty of oneself. A place where you sit in your singularity as a reminder to the other of their singularity. You do not close down or avoid, but just sit in the presence of oneself. As you'll find, others will be drawn to you because you offer a safe haven, a place of protection. Not a place that you are fixing their problems, but a place where they can have the respite from their problems. And you must honour this place purely. And to begin with, you may need to reinforce your location, as you will be pulled into your own memories and the temptation then to use the clever mind to fix, resolve, or rationalize. So you must learn the right place, not to avoid the other, but to be your sovereign self. If you can be that sovereign self, then all the pains of the world will cease to hurt you from here forward. No matter what the world throws at you, the sovereign self will manage. And so you must learn to be the third ear. And this ear is not located on the side of the head, but the ear is deep within your chest. It is within the embodied anchor that we used some weeks ago. The anchor to one's truth is where the third ear lies. It's the third ear that is no more than the witness to the event, that reflects back to the other all the possibilities and options. By being in the place of possibility. So your exercises are first one of tuning and then applying. The tuning is rather simple once one gets used to the process that is to be taken. So in the first exercise, as a difficult situation, a challenged person arrives at your door, you must first realize that your first temptation is to respond with the clever mind and bring your attention down to your feet. From your feet, bring your attention to the center of your chest, to where the anchor lies and the sense of self sits. This is the third ear. And sitting here, you look at the other and you see, without judgment, criticism, or expectation to change, you see their inner landscape, their frozenness, their winter, their anger, and the little child that's within them that is responding. And then you become the witness. You can see their pains coming from the inner world, raging on the outer world, and you hold your state of watching. With limited words, you may say, I am here not to fix, but to be with you in your pain. You may acknowledge where they are, but you offer no words of change or even of comfort, just as a pure witness. So that is the location you must attune to. And now you must practice it. So the first part of your practice is when another is coming. Go to the right place. Take your 3 breaths of a pause. Noticing the start of your mind beginning to react. And go into the truth of you. And express your mandate internally. I am the sovereign self at peace. I welcome all. I reject none. And when you sit in that place, not rejecting, but honouring the truth, not turning your back on those in pain, but looking deeper into them, listening with the truth of your being, not with the challenge of your ego and mind. But when you sit in that truth of being, you are where the world needs you to be. The world needs more presence now. As many are arguing and shouting and raging and battling, and the world needs presence. The presence for you to be the truth of you. Not the one that fights for freedom, but the one that sits in potential for freedom. And when you sit in that potential, the action will come of its own accord. So be in the truth of you. Don't let the world take you away from your truth because it becomes painful. And as soon as you go past this trauma and you do not claim it, fix it, change it, what more can the world do? But you must honor this. And you must see this, not from the position of ego, but from the position of oneness. And you can be the harbour in the rough seas. Not because you are trying to quell the storm, but because you are just at peace. So sit in your oneness and let the two come into the one, and let the one be where it should be. And this is how you step away from the play. How you avoid taking the play upon your shoulders and saying, "This is my cross to bear." But the truth is, the cross is someone else's. And you take it off them, thinking that you are doing them a wonderful service. But the cross continues to live, just in another body, and in another mind, and at another time. The world needs presence. Too many are using noise to build a sense of themselves. You do not need noise. You do not need their trauma. You've dealt with plenty of your own. So do not pick up these stones belonging to others, but be the witness to them. And the feeling of love will be ever present. We will continue our journey next week. But go forth now and be the light and the system breaker. Be first in your truth, and that is enough. God bless you all. good.